Hi, Robbie Susan Chandler here from RobbieSusansCardsandCrafts.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator who lives in Quincy, Florida, right outside Tallahassee, Florida. Today I want to share this beautiful card with you that I cased from Susan Campfield, and her card was so lovely there just wasn't that much that I wanted to change on it, so it's basically a total case of hers. But as you can see, it has a little pop-up. It's called a window fold card. It's got a little window here, and this part pops out. Now I want to show you another version where if you did not do the pop out, you could just cut this piece with the arch and it would lay flat. But I just really thought that the pop out part gave it a little more interest and also made it look like you're actually looking out a window. And I'll show you this lovely paper in just a minute. But let's look at the pieces for this card. I'll show you how to simply put it together. Okay, your card, excuse me, your card base is very vanilla, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. Now the window, the little window piece, is another piece of very vanilla, and it's 5.5 by 6 1/4. You score it at 1/2 and 1 inch from each end, 1/2 and 1 inch from each end, and cut your window out with the Garden Meadow dies, and it's this arched one down here, this one. Just put this on here and cut it out, and it leaves this beautiful little stitch design around the edge. Alright, once I had that cut out, then I embossed it with the exposed brick embossing folder, and it gave it more of a window look, like looking out a house. Now remember, when you use these 3D embossing folders, the thick ones, you feed them in with the fold first, and you have to use our plate number 4, which is, I call it the gray plate. It used to be blue, but now it's gray, and you'll need this one. And all you use is our platform and this, with this on top of it. And you get this beautiful look of the exposed brick. Alright, now let's see, what do we do with it? Alright, so I have folded this one. You fold it in and back and in and back. Now, speaking from experience, I'm going to tell you, only put your adhesive on one flap at a time, but your glue or your adhesive are going to go on these 2 flaps right here. So, this one I've already done. I put my glue here and I just glued it to this side. So you just lay your card down, level that up over there, and glue it down like that. And then put your glue on this side, and I guess I could do this one. Why not? Just put your glue down this strip. And you want to line up the edge of the very vanilla. Oh, there's my card, with the edge of your card. I wonder I couldn't find it folded up in it. So pull this back. Easy for me to say, it's not cooperating. Let's do it like this. There you go. Line that up right down the side like that. Hold it for a second or two so it'll stick down pretty good. And see how it really pops out now? But when you lay it down and just kind of press it down, then it'll go flat. Flatter. Still going to pop some, but it'll go a little bit flatter. That's the way you do the front. And see, here's one I've already done too. And by the way, on the inside I stamped "You're in My Prayers" with Starry Sky, and it's from Hope and Prayer. And my front sentiment that is thinking of you came from Go To Greetings, and it's also in Starry Sky. Okay, so now we have our card base. So let's figure out how to put our beautiful designer paper in it. Okay, so the pack we're using is called Meandering Meadow Designer Series paper, and it's a 6x6 paper, and it's actually online. It's not in the catalogs, it's online, but the number is 162735. It's a beautiful pack, has 12 designs in it. You get 48 sheets, so you get 4 of each design. And the one I'm using today is this one right here, and I'm going to show you what I cut off. To make it fit, you've got to cut it down to 4 by 5.5, or a little bit shorter than 5.5. So looking at this piece, I decided that I wanted, and what I did for my customers when they made this card in class, I had this little template for them. I said just take it and lay it down, try to figure out which section of the paper you like best. And I decided I like this section. Well, when I looked at my measurements, it's like, well, a 1/2 inch off this side and about 3/4 off the bottom. Well, 1/2 inch because you're 6 inches and you want this left at 5.5. So that left me 1.5 on this side. Now this piece you're going to hang on to and glue on the inside. It really makes a pretty finish when you put it on the inside. But I want to give you an idea of some of the other pieces in here, like this one, and you know, you can lay your template down and say, oh, you know, that would be a pretty scene right there. Then we've got this one, and probably would want to grab this tree over here. And here's another one with the path. And then here's one with a bunch of flowers. You probably would want to go high and get this area with a little bit of tree there on the bank. And then here's another pretty piece, and you could just get this section. But when you take your art, you can kind of move it around and figure out exactly which part you want it. So once you've done that and you've cut it down, it's really simple. All you do is just take it, and you see this little fold here, this little tab there, you just slip it in there, slide it down. Ta-da! There it is. Now to make that stay, I just put a little bit of glue at the top there and just a touch at the bottom. Now make sure you just put your glue on the back of the DSP. You do not want to glue the front part. You don't want your arched window stuck down. You still want it popping up, so make sure you're just gluing the back part there. And we're going to pop this piece on the inside. You can see this card goes pretty quickly. It's a beautiful card, and I thought it looked very appropriate for someone, either you tell you're in my prayers, either for getting well or sympathy. Alright, so there's the front, and we need our little sentiment down there. So, as I told you that, I used Go To Greeting, but I used the die from Something Fancy. It's this one. I cut this piece and I stamped it with Thinking of You. And I just popped it down here at the bottom. Just like that. The nice thing about this set, it's got all the sizes you could want, and Thinking of You, like 1, 2, 3 sizes, but if you want a small happy birthday or a small just a note or thank you, they're all in here in small size. And then I just tied a little bow with this Orchid Oasis. It's called Metallic Woven Ribbon. Put a little glue dot on the back. Kind of roll it up like a hot dog. And I just popped it right over here. Just like that. And you could trim those edges off if you didn't like them being that long. And then one last thing, since this one has a lot of sky, I used some of these cool, also online exclusive, adhesive backed dragonfly and birds. They look like this. So I'm just going to pop a couple of those down. Let's have one down here, flying around here. Let's aiming up some, and then we'll have one up here flying down. There we go. Now, we also have some dragonflies here, and this one I think would be appropriate for a dragonfly, so I'm going to just pop one down here in the flowers like that. So there you go. Now on this one I did add a few pearls. I think you could see them there, but I didn't want to put any on this one. I didn't feel like it needed it. So there we have our finished card. Now I'm going to show you some of the samples of some of the other papers in there. This is one, and I put some birds and a dragonfly down there, and a few pearls on this one. Here's another one. This actually is like this one that I made. And this time I looped my ribbon instead of tying a bow. And then here's another one, entirely different look. And there was no sky left in this one much, so I just added some dragonflies down in the grass. And then here's another one, and I added some birds up there at the top. So what do you think of that? Isn't that a cute card? Really pretty, really soft. A nice one to tell someone that you're thinking about them. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And like my video also. There's a little picture of my head will pop up at the end, and if you click on that, you can subscribe by clicking on that picture. If you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. And until next time, happy crafting.